What is going on YouTube? This is Kai. We're back with another deck profile after a week-long or even month-long of vacation from the Asia qualifier finals, from the locals, from the worlds, everything, etc. And also the release of the booster box Rage of the Abyss bring a lot of changes on the metagame recently, not to just metagame, for also the returning players, the support for a lot of different variants of decks, and because of that, so we're kind of busy in the locals and helping out the new players, the boosters, everything, and making a lot of like lecture class in the shop for the new coming players. Who knows I've been busy for how long. You can see from my face I'm kind of like fat a little bit because I skip a lot of things. So anyway, so today's video is about the deck profile of the newest playset Azamina. So I'm not going to like explain a lot, so you guys probably already know it's Azamina Fiendsmith Snake Eyes. So if you read the name correctly, if you read it as Azamina Snake Eyes Fiendsmith, it will be translated as, so you know I'm pronouncing it right. So yeah, the deck is like, maybe people assume it is the best deck of the format right now, but I think it otherwise, because it's still like a triangle format, because you have Snake Eyes, Tenpai, Yubel, these three decks that's still wandering around. So there's still a lot to base. I believe that Fiendsmith Snake Eyes is not the tier 0 deck, but it's just one of the best decks. It still have a lot of flaws in my opinion. I tested out last week, I got second place, and then the week before Rage of the Abyss release, I got first place. The difference is there. It's just that on paper and when you play it in real life, it's just very different. So without further ado, let's go into the profile. I'm gonna explain the choices I used and the cards tags I choose to rely on instead of the list I'm following online. A lot of times I don't follow lists online because the locals, my playstyle, and there are a lot of things that different from other players' perspective views. So that is why I make some changes. So let's get it. So to start off the videos, I'm not gonna be explaining the Snake Eye stuff, as it's just bread and butter for almost every list. Some people cut it to 2, but I believe you needed the 3, because especially when your Snake Eye Ash is at 1, you can't rely on a lot of any other engines to work your way to the combo, because you will get draw more easily, because the motive of the deck is get to extend your combos, extend your resources or endurance without getting draw, because if you get draw, not only you're stopping your combos, you're also stopping your resources from endurance if your opponents wanted to grind longer with you. So seeing this is just seeing another Snake Eye Ash, but it's not that optimal, because you might stop by draw plus Ash plus DD Crow, etc., the kind of things. Although one card of this or this is basically full combo if you played it correctly. It leads you to Fiendsmith and also leads you to Azamina, which I can show you what the one card can do. And that's all for the Snake Eyes, not gonna explain that much. And of course the double stars, you need to play 3 copies because it's your next Snake Eye Ash. So, and also your endurance as well. If you leave it and pass it to your opponent's turn, if during your opponent's turn it can't list a few, you get to summon it back and get more on follow up. And also we're playing the Fiendsmith package and the new Lacrimosa, which is replaces the Fiendsmith Engraver's place. For you guys don't know what it does. What she does is, when this card is no more special, you get to send a Fiendsmith card from deck to the graveyard, including the spell traps. And when this card is in the graveyard, during opponent's turn, you can target one Fiendsmith Link monster in your graveyard, return her to the deck, and summon that Link monster. So what basically this card do is, when you normal summon, you get to send your Fiendsmith graveyard to the graveyard. So by doing so, you already have 2 monsters. If you link this away for the Requiem, and you doesn't have to use the effects of the Requiem. You can use the engravers in the graveyard to shuffle the back and just summon them. So Requiem is like the extra bodies. It makes your normal summon not that awkward, because if a lot of times if you use this effect to discard search the spell, you get drawn, there's no follow-ups. But if you start with this, you're not only not getting draw, you're baiting Ash as well. So if you normal summon this, make Requiem, use its effects, you get Ash, and you still get the free this monster in your graveyard if you have extenders like bonfires, and the Diablo Stars, etc., etc. And you still need to play the Luri because a lot of times you still need the benefits of discardings. And for the hand traps is nothing that much fancy. It's just the usuals. Sometimes I can't believe why Maxi is still legal in play. So the lineup is almost the same. For Nibiru, I just wanted the extra hand trap that it's not draw and Vader, because you want something that have coexistent value against each other, and also for the crossouts. And that's why I played the Nibiru and played the 2/2 Vader and draw, because draw against certain decks that is not that helpful in my opinion. So if you're playing in the mirror match, if they are starting the combo with Fiendsmith Engraver or the Azamina continuous spell to search the fusion, you draw them, is fine, because that's the optimal way to stopping their combo. But if they start their combo with Popular or Snake Eye Ash, or even Diablo Star, this draw is not going to help a lot. You need to draw plus a follow up, which is why I play a lot of things that can follow up with the draw, which is like these, and these. So yeah, that's the hand trap I play. It's 14. I wish I can play more, but there's not necessary to play that much. If you guys been wondering why do I have the English version of some certain cards, well, it's Asian English, so I prefer some of the foils. I don't know why I like the English one. And I'm still looking for draws, and for Ash I'm not gonna change to Asian English because they don't have this art. I like this art better, it's look clean. And that's all for the monsters and hand traps. For the spells, the usuals, 2 bonfires. Luckily it's still at 2. If it was 1, it will be really hard to extend or even have follow-ups. Snake Eyes package. And for y'all wondering why I'm not playing the field spell, because the field spell is nice because it gets you extra 2 cards on the field for your fodders like Ash and the Snake Eye Oak. But the downside is that card didn't do anything by itself. And also risking yourself by drawing the Snake Eye Diablo Stars as a brick, because it can't do something by itself as well. While drawing this is not, yes, it's still not that plus as you think, but if you think about it, if you summon Ashes and get the Popular off of these, and you already have these or any others in your hand, you can activate this to set the Diablo Star at the back spell and trap zones, and then you use Oaks or Snake Eyes Ash to send it away for cost, and then during the main combo you can summon the Celine to bring back the Diablo Stars for the Azamina Ender, or you can just make the simple combo with the Flamebird placing IP at the back and then link Flamebird away for Appaloosa and any other stuff, and then during the end phase you can banish this to make your IP to summon from the spell and trap zone without using the Flamebird. That also dodges Triple Tactics talents as well, because during your opponent's turn you want to risk not getting baited or getting triggered by the Triple Tactics talents or trust. So banishing during the end phase, because it says during the end phase you can special summon a monster that is treated as continuous spell and as well, not any monsters, just any monsters. It doesn't necessarily have to be fire or anything, so that's why I played this. And also for the grind games as well, if you somehow mistakenly, like in the mirror match, they push something in the back row and then you have this, you can just activate it, and if you have a really bad hand, you can set it at the back, and then during your opponent's turn, if they don't kill you, they push your stuff to the back row by the effects of Flamebird. You can open this during the end phase, like can summon the back, so it's fine. And well, these two is just the one Fiendsmith own tractors only. I'm not playing a lot because I don't want to draw multiples of this, because yes, it's still vulnerable to draws, but I'm not that, because you can see the ratios of I only play 2 Engravers and 1 Lacrimosa, so the ratio is kind of low. It's like 3-1, so if you have this already in your hand, it's fine, you can just activate this, because the following up is not necessarily anymore. And also you have, if you play 2 this and the 2 Engraver, you're gonna have too much of the monsters in your hand that is just doing the same job, so you don't want that to happen. So minimizing the combo components would be much optimal in my opinion, because you know this only use once. Most of the time if you live once and during the following turn you do not wish to use this or use that much of things that's vulnerable yourself or expose yourself to hand traps, interruptions, or anything. So that's why I only play one. And the newest edition of the deck will be the Azamina package. This is the fusion spell, I forgot what it's called. And this is the new Sinful Spoil card. What this card does is, once per turn you can tribute a monster from a hand or field. It says tribute, doesn't have to send to the graveyard. And if you do search Azamina cards from deck to the hand, you can search this. And then during opponent's turns, if you have a Azamina monster on the field and a monster is sent from opponent's side to their field, to their graveyard, you can activate its effects. Your opponent loses 1,500 life points and you gain 1,500 life points. So this is for time. I never resolve the second effects, mostly because it doesn't really matter, and a lot of time this card doesn't exist on the field anymore because he uses the effect to send it for fusions. And the last effect is critical because if this face-up card is sent to the graveyard and during the end phase, you can send it back because you have more cards on the field, means more fodder for Snake Eyes, more fodder for Diablo Stars, more fodder for this to recycle back your interruptions. And also, what this card does is fusion summons for the Azamina. For every level 4s, you can send the Sinful Spoil cards to the graveyard to fusion summons. So most of the Azamina cards are level 6, so you can just send one and then just fusion. And when this card is in the graveyard, you can target one Azamina monster on your field or in your graveyard. You can shuffle it back and then add this to your hand. This is how you recycle all your interruptions. You recycle your Sylvia, add it to hand, activate it, summon the Sylvia, and if the Sylvia uses the effects in the graveyard during next turn, you can add this back and then summon it back. So that's how you prevent Nibiru, prevent a lot of things. That's why this deck with this component is kinda stable in my opinion. Not OP or strong because a lot of times you're still vulnerable to a lot of things. Like I said, this deck does vulnerable to a lot of hand traps, a lot of draws. That's why you needed more choices. I believe it's just the choices. Not if yes, of course, if you technically full combo your opponent, this is just like overall unfair in my opinion. But not all the times you get to full combo, because even if you full combo with deck nowadays, you're easily getting broken by some interruptions. So that's why you need more to solve the puzzles. And the last few cards would be the hand trap heads. So yeah, this is the 41st card. I sometimes wanted to like remove this, but I'm still in the testing phase, so who knows. That's all for the main deck is 41 like I mentioned. So now it's the extra deck, the link ones, the only link ones you need, and not much to say. And for link 2 is different because a lot of things has been removed from the site, I believe. So these are still needed. This is optional. I see some people cut this for Nightmare Phoenix. I will as well, but it's not with this build. I probably like play Phoenix in the side, or even play by removing this and remove a lot of things. The reason I play Charmer is not only just I want extenders, but also it's for the Celine combo. So I play Celine because Celine can summon a spellcaster from the graveyard. It can summon back your Diablo Stars for the Azamina extended combo, and then you make uploads afterwards. And also you easily achieve 3 spells because your Snake Eye stuff plays monsters on the back row as continuous spells, so they treat it as spell as well. So you can use this to summon back the Diablo Stars for the extended combo, which I'll show you later. And the last link will be the Appaloosa, and not much difference from the other deck lists, I believe, because I tested a few rounds. These are the important ones. Everything is important, so you needed all of this. You can't. The extra deck is a bit tight, only like 3 space for you to modify, so it come and goes. And the addition of the extra deck is Rushulako and Sylvia. Sylvia is the negations. You send herself to the graveyard to negate a spell trap or monster effects. And when it's get destroyed, you search a Devil Star trap, which I don't play. And other Azamina monster controls can pierce defense, doesn't really matter. I don't use that often. This is the stars. You get to search your Sinful Spoil spell. You get to search your wanted, search your origin, anything start with these two. This is the reason why your extra deck is packed and not much space, because you're already leaving 2 spots for them. And the last is the Fiendsmith package, the Lacrimosa, Desirius, and the Beatrice. And a lot of people say that this deck is broken because Beatrice is still legal, but in my opinion, if Beatrice wasn't legal anymore, like you have one, this is empty, you still have a lot of stuff to do because you have the Fiendsmith to make like Desirius, and then you haven't normal summon yet. You can play more of those normal summon stuff like the popular Snake Eye Ash or even any other normal summon just to get to your like extended plays. I saw people play with like the Metamorphosis, a lot of stuff. So if you open like 0 Snake Eye stuff, you probably won't get through there, but you still have a lot of ways like with the Fuse Spell, etc. A lot of ways for you to get to the Snake Eye stuff. So by the way, this card still needs to go regardless of Snake Eyes or Fiendsmith Recruit. Thank you so much, because this card is just literally sends everything to oblivion. And for the side decks is, I'm recording to my locals. There have been a lot of Fiendsmith and the Voiceless Voice. This is for both of them because they are light and dark. Fiendsmith is also light and dark. For the Azamina, it's not necessarily to bestial them, but it does come out good if you really like have to. You can aim for the Fiendsmith, or you can aim for the Azamina, because the Azamina fusion in the graveyard is critical if they want to extend more by using the monsters first before they recycle the fusion spells. And the next addition is the Maruchiami Fulos. I can't pronounce the name, I forgot the name. I can't read it upside down. Anyway, the new Maxi. Yes, this is the reason why I feel that Maxi is fine to getting hit or banned, whatever they call it, because you have these extra additional hand trap. I drew this couple of times. This only, of course, these kind of head traps, including the other one, is only good when you're going second. If you're going first, you don't want to see this, so I choose to side it. I see a lot of Japanese players, they main this because, well, it's just the extra maxi, so why not? But in my opinion, that if your locals doesn't have a lot of things, especially more from the extra decks, or only such as that once from the deck, this doesn't do much, so I choose to side it. And also, if you're going first, it's saw this is basically just a brick in your hand. So I rather see this on going second most of the time, so that's why I choose to side it. And the board breaker stuff, I want the third droplet, but I don't have any slots. And for these, because if you against the decks like they have the floodgates, you need this. So most people won't side anti-spell fragrance against this deck because this deck sometimes doesn't really that pain in the ass to deal with anti-spell fragrance, so I'm not playing the Cosmic Cyclones. And for the anti-go first lockdown combo, I played the Scythe. I'm still testing it. I'm not sure this is the correct choices. I just wanted to test it out, regardless if it's a good choice or bad choice. I'm gonna test it out myself so I can know the outcome of how I feel against this package when I use it in real life. And to combo off with this, I played Skill Drain, Decambidoman, and Summon Limit. These are the trio floodgates in the format, other than Rivalry and Ghost Match, because you can't play those, but you can play this because this dodges Dark Ruler no more. If they're Dark Ruler no more, you activate this and then you change Desirius to negate the Dark Ruler no more. And yes, you already use your Desirius, doesn't matter if it's Skill Drain or not, you already use Desirius, it's only once per turn. And also under Skill Drain, this can activate because Tribute herself as cost, so it doesn't affected by the Skill Drains. The only one affected by the Skill Drain is your Appaloosa, and then your Flamebird doesn't matter because your Flamebird can chain into your Desirius, and if you can ignore the chain as well, and then just Flamebird just there for the target pop for the Promethean. So yeah, this is the good cards. So now I'm gonna show you guys the combo of making the fodder for the Azamina. So assuming we have this, or we have the another extenders we have. For example, we have like these are kind of extenders. So you normal summon this, you can just get this, switch this, and then link it away. for the incredible. I want to make sure that you guys see correctly. I'm just gonna move up. And this has the deck. Activate this. And you're gonna set the Diablo Stars. Snake Eye Hash effects. Tributes. At this point you can save your Snake Eye Oak. You rather leave it in the deck in case you wanted to grind during your opponent's turn, and then by your turn you have a search target for the Snake Eye Ash. So here I'm just gonna make the Flameberg. If you wanna make the oak is flat, as soon as you make the oak, here's some of this. Into Close Sky, and Close Sky into Requiem's effect. Summon Lacrimo's effect, gonna send this. This effect, gonna equip Oak effect, Flameberg. And its effects, gonna shuffle it back. So that's itself. So these two into this. And use effect the fusions. Gonna make this Urias. These two into Promethean. Flameburst effects. I'm gonna bring back the two. And it's gonna equip to him. And then Promethean's effect gonna bring back the Flamebird. And then this into Charmers. And you already have three spells because this is treated as spell card as well. So you will make the Celine's effect, gain counters, and then effects summon it. So effects triggers, gonna set the spells, and then spell effects, effect costs, search the fusions, and then activate the fusions, reviewing this, send this, summon this. And the effect is gonna search a Sinful spell card. We can search the wanted. And now we're gonna link these two away into Appaloosa. And then before we activate the wanted, you wanna shuffle back the fusions. Add this back to hands. So these are your hands. So now you're gonna activate this as chaining 1 and then chaining 2 to add this. So you're gonna add another Diablo Stars. And then on resolution, it's gonna review the Sylvia. Gonna send this to summon this. And then you still have this in your hand. So before you end your turn, you can use this effect to shuffle back these or these, whichever you want, and then get to draw a card. So this is your basic end board with one card, and you have one Diablo Stars as next turn follow and one unknown hands. So if your hands are like that good, and if you're doing the Fiendsmith combos, you can like read a lot. So your Flamebird before your Flamebird, you're gonna make an IP, and then your IP is gonna summon up during the following turns. So with that, before the end phase, you can use this effect to set your Diablo Stars. So your Snake Eye is not gonna activate these effects unless necessary. So in this case, during your opponent's turn, they can't super party you because there's no legal targets. And during your opponent's turn, you can have 1, 2, 3 interruptions, and also the Promethean in the graveyard. So you can like effect target the devil stars to summon out. So like this, you can search for the origins for the next turns as well. So you have guaranteed for the follow-ups, and then you have a monster. You have a snake eye dramatic chase to summon are popular if you need the monsters during the next turns. And if you somehow not use the Diablo effect to set the origin, you can use the popular to search your origin as well. So you have ways to get through your stuff. So during the next turn, if this all goes through, it's got negated, this used it, this used it, so it's gone. So you have like one Diablo start for follow up, one draw, and a origin for next turn. So during your draw phase, you draw a card and then stand by main. During your main phase, you can use this. Oh yeah, forgot that during the end phase, this will be set back. So this is gonna be here, and then during your turn, and then back to your turn, if you somehow use the Snake Eyes effect to push back this, you have spot. So this effect, shuffle back the Sylvia, add it to hand, activate, send this, and then you have your Omni-Negates again. That's all for the decks, and hope you all enjoyed it. So if you guys have any interested or any deck list regardless of these new boosters Rage of the Abyss, make sure to let me know. I'll make deck profile for almost every archetype there is, except for the B-Force because I couldn't find the material, and I wish I can find it soon enough. The next will probably be either Atlantean Mermail, the Promeradio, or even the Chimera Azamina, or even Centurion. So who knows? Be sure to stay tuned, and we'll see you guys next time.